Two. No, we did open houses? No. Okay, that's fine. How about offers? Who's running buyers? Anybody running buyers? Did anybody put any offers in the weekend in the last week, let's say, and did you get multiple offers or you all by yourself? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hands here. Okay, so did you send yours go through or no?
No, we lost.
You lost? Okay, how many competing offers? 10 competing offers and you lost? Okay, what was the list price? I'm just curious. $8.99. And was it underpriced on purpose?
Yeah.
How I don't care how you went, but went sold for 1.1? Okay. Who else put their hand in? Raj, you did something?
Yeah.
Did you win? No.
Take a while down.
Okay, go back to you, Sam. What was your offer? 9.99. Okay. What was did you multiples? How many? Rush?
38. Scarborough,
You compete against 38 offers?
so one.
Okay, so I'm just curious. Yeah. What's the list price?
888.
Okay, what was the target price? 1.12?
We had 1.1.5, 1.
You want 1.1? Okay, you did. Okay, good for you.
They went for 1.28.
Your guy went for 1.28,
No, my guy was like 1.16.
1.16 is over 1.28.
We didn't even get called.
Was it worth 1.28?
We said 1.15, separate entrance basement apartment there, and then 38 offers, okay, up your bid a little bit.
So that same property, Scarborough Bungalow with a legal base on apartment, Scarborough Bungalow back in February would have gone to you what, 1.4, 1.5, somewhere in there
Last year.
in February 22.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the peak. So now it's going 1.28. So we're creeping up.
This is just a regular set. It's nice.
Yeah,
I mean,
because we're suggesting that maybe Scarborough Bungalows we're going in the 1.1 range there. So now they're getting 1.28. So 1.1 would have been like a month or two ago, right? So now we're starting to creep over the 1.2s. Alex, you had your hand up then?
condo in Oakville,
Oakville condo, okay, that's a
real well, 699 for a bit.
699 for 900 square foot in Oakville, you said? Okay, so. Okay, good. Is it firm or? So what you going at?
35.
835, okay, good.
It's still less than the average per square foot for the building over there.
Yeah. All right, so condos maybe not as quite demand, maybe? I don't know.
I think they were over a barrel though. They did a 5% deposit desperately, so.
The sellers, so they probably bought something on bridge, they need a bridge, they need a firm deal or something maybe? Yeah. Who else had their hand up? Anybody else? Multiple offers? Yeah, no multiple offers, no. But just buyers though, you had buyers, and did your buyer were they successful? Okay, not there yet. Okay, so we'll get into that. Nobody else? How about you, Nelson? Any tales from the street?
I was just looking back, we still had good amount of appointments, 350.
350
30
appointments.
offers back in 3 days, so. It's okay.
What's-
They're happy to stay.
Yeah, what's the general feel? Is the general feel though that the market has we're getting into the spring market now? Anybody get that feeling? I do, for sure. I just we count the number of deals we do deal per day, and then January, February, the deals were not that good, but now we're starting to get a little more traction. We're starting to get a little more inventory out there. It's about 10,400 active listings right now, so a little bit more inventory, which hopefully is going to be a little bit easier for the clients. What else? Anybody else experience out in the street? Anybody have any tales from the street out here? No.
I was gonna say, people that are not holding offers, when you're the first offer, it's generating multiples, even if they're not holding.
So
So
if listing agent is just putting the listing out there with no offer date, and you're the first one to register, and
It
all of
triggers
a
others.
sudden there's another one.
yeah. Even if it's been sitting, still that first one is the trigger.
How many listings are out there that do not have offer dates? Anybody notice that? Are there listings out there with not offer dates?
Most some do, but then they have offer date prices too.
I'm just thinking as a strategy, like if you don't put an offer date on an offer, are you not confusing people that aren't used to that?
I think so.
Like, I think that don't forget, there's 67,000 agents in the Toronto Real Estate Board, and I'm not sure how many came in the last 2 years since, like, let's say 2021, 1920, part a whole whack of them anyway. So they're not used to a market where we haven't had offer dates. We have not used to a market where things didn't go over. So if you have if you're an old guy and you put a listing on the market with no offer date, then you're going to confuse a whole lot of people. All right. That's my thoughts anyway. So if you're taking a listing, I think in today you want to underprice it on purpose. You want to generate multiple offers. That's the strategy today. Same strategy we had 2022. We didn't know what the prices were, so you just hold off offers and see what happens, right? I think it's the same today. But I think what's happening today that you're not getting the crazy prices. You're not getting the prices like the 1.6s, let's say. We're not getting those. You're getting the 1.2s, 1.3s. So I definitely prices themselves have changed, right? So right now we've got 10,498 active listings as of last night, which is strong. So it's creeping up a little bit. We had about 10,000, well, on February 20th, so a month ago, we had 9,956. So it's gone up about 400, 500 listings, not a whole lot. So we're still not seeing a whole lot of action. Hopefully we're going to see that soon. When the weather changes, it should be changing, you know. I don't know, once it changes, you can start doing more things out there. 10,498 active listings. There's 5,400 are freeholds, and there's 584 that are condos. The sales themselves are getting better. Last week we were down. Well, let's just do this. We were down. In March the 5th, we were down 55%. In March the 12th, we're down 49%. Last week we're down 46%. Today we're down 41%. So that's like the 10% difference, right? So that's huge. So that's good. That tells me that things are picking up as well. Freeholds are down 42%, condos are down 39%. So everybody's down about 40%. Leases on the other side, they're actually up 5%. So leases are up 5% from last year. We've got 8,200 active lease listings. There's 3,600 of them are freehold, 4,400 are condos. We've had 6,000 leases done so far this month versus 5,700 last year at the same time. So it's actually up 5%. The freehold leases are up 15%, but the condo leases are actually about even, actually down about 1%. So what about the condo leases? Are we still getting multiples on condo listings, or is that slowed down? Yeah, slow down. Does anybody have any properties that they're trying to lease out, and they're getting leases or no? Anybody sitting there in that? No. So are they leasing or not leasing, or you have 4 offers on a lease? Okay. Chad?
About a house rental, terrible green roof that they're including things, so it's not rented.
Okay. So on your condo, did you get multiple like people looking at the condominium, or was the activity as busy?
3 people interested. Basically 2 offers came in, they were gonna take it too long.
Yeah. Is anybody having issues getting rid of any of these properties? I see one over here, yeah. Townhome in Liberty Village? Liberty Village? Fully furnished?
No,
What are you asking? That's been leased for a while now, right?
yeah,
First-
vacant,
Vacant,
4,000, bedroom den.
vacant for,
washrooms with
what's,
a rooftop terrace and
Yeah.
a garage in the back,
so what's 4,000?
4,000 including.
4,000 is the rent?
Uh,
Oh, okay.
except for hydro and internet.
So is that rent?
Utilities all included, there's nothing like it. And it was much more because they insisted to put it at that price. And now it's
Seems like a lot of money, doesn't it?
1,500 square feet, including utilities and a garage.
Just so you know, February, just to remind you, February sales were actually down 47%, and sales themselves, active listings were actually up 38%. Days in the market last year, about 9 days per market, 9 days in the market. This year, 22 days in the market. This is from February last year, right? I'm just going through old numbers here for you. And the average prices themselves are still 1,095,000, which is still up 5% from the month before. Okay, I've got a bunch of stuff here. Not too many people. I don't think anybody, I think maybe Shiv is going to the awards event. There's an awards event on the 29th, which we really haven't promoted. Only because it's just going to be like an hour-long thing. I think they're just going to flash your people's names up there, and then I don't think there's going to be real recognition. We don't know, but because I wasn't familiar with it, I wasn't sure what they're going to do. So we're doing our own event in April, which we're going to have quite a bit of a show going on there. So we're promoting our own event rather than such one event, but if you want to go to that or you get invited to that, certainly you could. But I don't think the format's gonna be the way that I prefer to see what it's like, so. Compare the two, but if you don't get confused, so you see Central Hawaiian Awards, what's going on? Just something that we've decided to do our own event rather than that one. And it's on Wednesday, right? Okay, and our event, just to touch bases, have we talked about it, what we're doing?
We should.
Do we want to talk about it now or?
I think we should.
Okay, on April 26th.
Yeah.
So April 26th, we're having our event. It's going to be at the Parkway Manor, Parkview Manor at Don Mills and Eglinton.
Been there before.
We've been there before. We've done quite a different awards there, right? It's around, not the shops, but it's before that, right? So south or north? South, I guess, yeah, south of the shop. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's almost at Eglinton, right? Now we're gonna do something different this time. Usually awards, we have like noon and then we finish around 3 o'clock. But this time we're gonna do a little bit different. So we're gonna actually start the event at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
10 o'clock AM. Oh my God, we're gonna make it 9 o'clock, but we thought people have heart attacks. It's 10 o'clock, okay?
Is there gonna be mimosa?
Mimosas, yeah.
All right. There's gonna be yeah, Santa's asking if it's gonna be samosas, yes.
Yes, I'll get some mimosas.
There's samosas.
That's a good attraction.
So we're gonna have a 10 o'clock, we're bringing in a guest speaker, we're gonna bring in David Greenspan. David Greenspan is full of energy, full of life, and I just want him just to sort of give everybody a head shake and just let's look at things, and it's not as serious as things can be. It's more of an inspirational type thing. So that's gonna be a 2-hour event with David. Then we do our lunch around noon, and then we'll do our awards like normal in the afternoon. We'll be finished at 3 o'clock. So you could come for the lunch and leave, you can come for the event and leave, you can come for the show and leave, or you come for the whole day. Hopefully everybody come for the whole day, right? So we did it at 10 o'clock rather than 9 o'clock, or just because. Right? We're trying to do something different. Now this week, for training stuff, we have another event we haven't done for a while, and it's gonna be on Wednesday as well, right?
It's also, 10 AM, so not too.
So not 11:30, it's not 11:30, but yeah, so it ends at 11:30. We're gonna do it on what format?
It's on Zoom.
It's on Zoom, okay.
only, not-
It's not live, it's gonna be Zoom. And what we've done in this case, we were approached by guy's been around, he's been around 40 years now. I remember him when he came out of university, Tony Robbins. And so Tony Robbins is going to do a 90-minute session. It's not going to be Tony himself. It's going to be one of his disciples, I guess, or one of his people that. Reason why I say that is because when Mike Ferry came to town, not Mike Ferry, Mike Ferry, Floyd Wickman came to town, they'd have guys come in and speak on their behalf, and they weren't there. You swear it was Mike up there talking. Or you swear it's Floyd up there. Same joke, same thing, same thing. So when I say disciples, I'm sure this guy's going to speak and talk and just like Tony. He's going to rah, and he's going to do all that stuff. I'm assuming all that stuff, but they pretty much copy what their boss is doing. So, but it's going to be a good event anyways. It's it's a 90-minute event, and it's strictly for us, right? It's not like every else. It's an event for us, and we're going to do that on Wednesday. That's 10 o'clock.
Very interactive. I don't know what that means. I don't know. He's gonna get you guys to see that on camera. I don't know. He said it's a very interactive 90-minute performance strategy workshop.
Yeah, like, good. So I think it's just good. Everybody give it a head a shake, because you get so much negative stuff and so much people beating you down all the time. It's nice to get some positive things. So we got that coming up on Wednesday and at 10 o'clock, right? So we got to.
And you have to register. So you got an email, so you can't just show up to, it's not my Zoom link. So if you guys want access, you have to go to the emails I've been sending and register on those links so that you can get the link.
Okay, so let's do that on my email then too, right?
Yes. we should.
Rather than the announcement.
Yeah.
Okay, so Katelyn's telling us, for those people at home that have to register for this Zoom meeting here with these guys. We have been sending out emails to you under the announcement part, but I'll send one out personally as well. And you can take care of that. So that'll be a good session, I think. What else we coming up? We've got Mike Ferry coming to town on April the 4th and the 6th. So it's 4, 5, 6. So it's 3 days. It's going to be at the Congress Center, which is I guess the airport on Dixon Road. And it's going to be Mike himself. It's $195 US. tell you, who's never seen a live Mike Ferry? Eh, live? Everybody else seen him live? Okay. All right, so you might want to try him out. Mike is going to be talking about nuts and bolts about real estate business. I mean, I think it's a good thing again for him to come around because of the spring market or this time of year. I don't know, we're on a cusp, right? Is the market strong or not strong? For some people, it's not strong at all. For other people, they're busy. So what is it? So hopefully this Mike's gonna maybe put some people back on track. Mike likes to promote the phone. Let me say, I'm gonna take that back though. He likes to promote being proactive. Okay, and if proactive for him happens to be the phone, that's what it happens to be. If it's for you, proactive is something else, then that's good too. But his whole point is just don't sit around and wait. Don't sit around and wait. Like waiting or passive. Well, we talked about that, Katelyn, last week. Passive and
Been an active, well, lead generation versus prospecting is what that question.
so there's two things. There's lead generation and there's prospecting, right? And there's two different things. I've noticed a lot of people have been doing the lead generation. Some people signed up for the agent locator. Some people signed up for other programs. We have another program that we're looking at. I'm not sure what we're gonna do with that one there with from bench people in there. I'm not sure how we can do that.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. We currently use our program on our Facebook. What did these leads we get, but this one seems a little.
Anyway, so it's another lead gen company that says that they're gonna be able to give us higher quality leads because they're using Facebook and they're using biometrics to target certain
Because you
people.
can capture their Facebook contact information, those usually accurate.
So if anybody here is interested in that type of thing, I think it's kind of expensive. They want like $50 a lead or something, right?
Like they're apparently really good quality.
They're good quality lead, but they only started this last month. So there's some salesmanship going on there too, right?
So it's a little bit.
So if anybody's interested in that game, then certainly contact Katelyn there and we'll see what's going on, but we're looking at that as well. Good. Okay, so we got Mike Ferry coming up there and we've got the Buzz Conference. I'm not sure if anybody here is interested in the Buzz Conference. It's going to be downtown. The Buzz Conference is at the Liberty Ballroom, Liberty
Yeah.
Grand. What's that thing called downtown? Liberty Grand, is it? And it's downtown. That's going to be on the 30th, the Buzz Conference, and that's what they call disruptors, which there's lots of disruptors because Central Island's going to be there, and Remax going to be there, and X is going to be there. So we're all disruptors. But there's a bunch of speakers that are going to be talking if you want to get motivation that way. And that was like, how much was that? $250 or something? Or
That's actually, yeah, it's like over 300.
$300. Okay, and that's Buzz Conference for a one-day event, and they just have a bunch of young people and older people just going up there doing a session like a salesperson's panel, and that's going on as well. So there's all kinds of training stuff going on. There's all stuff to keep yourself motivated. Don't be stuck in your own little world. There's all types of things out there that are available to you. Okay, Mike Ferry. That. What else? I've got a lot of technical things here. I don't want to scare everybody and nothing's going to happen today, but I'm going to tell you about it. And the reason why I'm going to tell you about it is apparently on real estate hacks, somebody was complaining saying, what's going on with RICO? What's going on with new rules? Nobody told us about it. Nobody's done this. And we've been talking about this now for a couple of months. So I'm still going to tell you about it just to give you the heads up, what's coming down the tube. So you know what's going on. And when it does come, it's not going to surprise you. Or it's not going to shock you. Korea right now is we're going ahead with their consultations on their realtor.ca. They want to make realtor.ca for profit website, not just what we're doing now. So what they're doing now is realtor.ca is available to anybody to go there and get active information, get listings. It's probably the strongest web page in all Canada as far as hits go, and as far as people want to know about real estate, usually go to realtor.ca. They're not going to House Sigma or other places. Basically, realtor.ca is the site. So Korea wants realtor.ca to operate on its own for profit. So they're going to maybe, hopefully in the future, allow solds on there. They're going to maybe allow people to advertise on there, maybe lawyers, agents, real estate agents, inspectors, who knows what. So they're going to try to make it a income generating website. That's their goal. So
Like Zillow.
similar, but Zillow doesn't. Does Zillow have sold prices? I guess they do. Be some of the only thing that they could possibly do to have a big impact would show the sold out. Once they start showing that, then you're gonna see house, like, why would somebody go to House Sigma when you go to realtor.ca? Right, that's the way I see it anyway, so we've been talking about it for a while now. Going back to the sold data, I told you last week how Realm is now allowing your customers through the Collaborate platform to access sold data. Did anybody have a chance to look at that at all? I know some agents did, and we looked at it. And so if somebody, so you create on your Realm Collaborate, you invite a client to do like a prospect search. You're doing that now, right? On your strategy, do prospect search, you send your client information, you put your first name, last name, email address, and the client then gets these prospect matches, right? Come Realm, come this time next year, Stratus won't be around. So you might as well start getting used to it now and start using the Realm Collaborate instead. So if you've got a client that to start today, just start getting into it a little bit. You've got a client that you want to put on a prospect match, put them on Realm Collaborate as well. Put them on the Realm searches. And what they can do when they collaborate, they can actually log in with their username and their password, which they have to create when you invite them to send them prospect matches. They have to have an email, and they have to agree to castle and all those types of things. So once you send them, you set them up, and they now have created their password, and they can access that, and now they can actually search for sold listings, not just for sale listings.
This one's not like a club, but it's a contact. You invite them and they download the app and they put their own.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to download the app. You can download the app. They should download the app and just create an account.
Yeah.
Right.
It's much easier than club.
Yeah, and so it's far easier than what you've been using for Collab right now on Stratus, right? It's very similar. So that's something that you've got to look at what's coming down the tubes. And if you're not if you don't see the advantage of that, then I want you to see the advantage of it, because a lot of people come to me and Nelson saying, how come, where's the sold down? Where's the sold down? And here it is, we have it. So, and when the client goes in and he does his searches and he asks for information on that particular property, even though it's not your listing, when he makes the inquiry, then the inquiry comes to you. And the listing agent's name is not on the listings, it's only the brokerage, which is required by the VOW websites. So that's a good thing that everybody should be looking at, all right?
There's too much information be given to you.
It's too late. That horse left the barn. The question was, are we giving too much information to the public? And the answer is yes. But for some reason, we've given control to people that don't understand real estate. That's my political comment. Or you can't fight City Hall, one of the two. I don't know what. On your web page, sorry, on your landing page for your Toronto MLS, you notice a whole bunch of different buttons on there. You'll see a thing called prop text. That's not a button that you can click on. That's the name of the company that we own that operates our MLS system. And I'd still like to know where the money's going. I'd like to know where the bottom line on that one is, where I'd like to see the financial statements when that's finished. But anyways, and they've got other things on there. One's called List Track. So List Track used to be RealtyNet. So you go to List Track, and if you've got a listing and you're trying to show your client what are you doing to promote that listing, then you can go to List Track and you can see all the hits that they've had, where the hits came from, and how many people looked at it. So it gives you a little printout. You can provide to your seller saying, this is all the things I've done to promote your property. It's still not sold. The only thing left is adjust the price, or get rid of the green rooms.
Where is the list track?
It's right on when you log into your home page on your Stratus right now, and I'm sure it'll be on Realm too. You'll see right there's a little button in there that says List Track. I think it's on the right or left of the little bar. I think it's on the left, right? So you can have a look at that, and it gives you the stats. So you've got that seller that's crying or not crying, concerned that the property's not selling, what's going on. You can show them how many people have looked at it and where you promoted the property. Has anybody used that in the past? It's always been there, but now it's just so it has a little better reporting, a little different reporting. So that's coming down. Haven't heard anything about the Korea thing, talking about how listings have to be placed on MLS. Like if you have like a coming soon sign, remember that thing they talked about coming soon, You're not allowed to have exclusive listings. If you advertise exclusive listing, it has to be put on MLS within 3 days. The law came in for January 1st, but they're allowing each individual board to come up with their own rules, and Trev is so busy doing other stuff, they haven't even addressed this part yet, so.
It's still same as before.
Yeah, so nothing's changed on that one, just so that if it's there, nothing's changed, right?
Are they going to remove exclusive from the MLS listing?
No,
Then why, if you can't have exclusive, why would they have that?
no, you can't have exclusive, you just can't advertise
You can't advertise what?
exclusive. Which,
Oh.
which, which,
You can't put
which,
a
which,
Facebook
which they
link.
put on hold anyway, so don't
Huh?
worry about it. They put it on hold anyways. They haven't, Trev has not told us what to do there yet. So had it been in effect, then the exclusive listing would have to be on MLS if you advertise it. Advertise it, mean you put a sign on it, for sale sign on it, coming soon, you put it on your social media, put it on your webpage.
So you cannot add, you cannot do anything if it's exclusive listing once it's approved.
That's right. The only thing you can do is you can promote it to the office people. That's all you can do. Promote it internally, you can't promote it externally, but that rule is
So
not,
you just can't put a sign.
and you can't put it on your webpage. Can't advertise it. But anyways, today you can do anything. Don't worry about it. This,
No, but once they approve, can you put a coming
I
soon
don't-
sign
as long as it's on MLS in 3 days.
for 3 days? So you can put coming soon 3 days
Yeah.
before the MLS.
But right now you can do what you want, so don't worry about it.
Of course.
On Realm, you can move your Stratus contacts over to Realm. Did you would have got an email on that and how to do it. So you've got to do it by November anyway. So again, you might want to start thinking about doing these things sooner than later rather than waiting for the last day. And they're going to come up with more things that Realm does that Stratus does not do. So you might as well try to get used to it now, right? So you can transfer your contacts in a CSV file. You can download it from your Stratus and upload it to your Realm. But what it won't do is the prospect searches. And I haven't seen anything about that yet. So you may have, does anybody use prospect searches right now in Stratus? You might have like 10, 15, 20, or you might want to even use it for your past clients. Some people, just so you know, that you're allowed 150 people in the prospect search, and what some agents would do, not busy agents, I guess, but still they do it. Somebody buys a house on a particular street and they'll put prospect match on that particular street. So anything that happens in that street, your client gets an update. Right, but it's only allowed 150, so it's a little shy.
What if prospect search 150?
150 prospect searches, yeah, and the Realm I think is the same. Anyway, something to think of. So what people are doing there to keep in contact with their past clients, they're putting their address, like let's say a guy buys something on a condo building, he puts the condo building on the prospect searches. So anything happens in that condo building, your client gets a message, it's another touch, right? Another touch, keep them up to date. So
And
you know,
your
this
name
purpose
comes
of that. Your name comes up, right? So you've got the Realm, so you've got Realm now with to get the contacts over, you've got the Realm with the sold property. So try to take advantage of those things if you can. Okay, 118. I don't want to put anybody to sleep on the new rules or not.
Need to know.
Need to know?
Yep.
Okay, I'll get back to that later. Real estate unit sales have hit bottom according to RBC. So from this point forward, the unit sales in Canada have dropped the bottom. It's not going to get any worse. So from this point forward, it's going to be positive. But that's good news. So we hit the bottom, and going forward, it's going to get better. So if you survive so far, we'll keep on surviving. All right. I thought this was fine. Just an article I read here, and goes back to Percy days, right? Step inside my G-Wagon. Why so many realtors drive such nice cars?
Why do you drive nice car?
Why realtors drive nice cars? So a G-Wagon, I believe, is it's a $150,000
If you can get
Mercedes SUV, right?
If you can get.
Double that, $300,000 SUV.
No, you need a ladder to get up there.
So we've got this one woman here, okay, she talks about getting a agenda, but basically what they're saying here is that agents have to, it's your calling card, okay? It's your calling card, your car's your calling card. So if you show up at a stranger's with a nice G-Wagon or something there, then you automatically have credibility. Right? If you show up in a 1960s Hyundai, then maybe your credibility is not going to be as good as you might want it to be. Right? I remember years ago, Ender Ilke is an agent that was with us for years and years, and then he moved out to Vancouver, retired. Him and Shiv would maybe be in the same Melbourne area competing, right? You remember this story? You probably don't. And I remember Ender had a listing. Ender just got himself a brand new Mercedes, beautiful car. I don't know, I don't know, Mercedes 3.5 series, 3 series.
It's not about a new car. 300.
It was a 300. It was a used 300 anyway. So it was still at the time. It was still a $300,000 car right at the time. Whatever. But the fact that he's proud of this car, he loved it. Shiv shows up in his stretch black Cadillac, right? Which is probably half the value. I'm making a story, right? So I'm making this story. So Shiv comes in with this big Cadillac, and there's Ender with his Mercedes, and Mercedes again twice as much as that. The guy leaves, and then I'm not sure if they got the deal or not. The guy leaves, and the guy says to Ender from Shiv, says, "Well, Ender, maybe someday you'd be successful and get a car like Shiv." Right? He's driving this Mercedes, which is a foreign car at the time, right? And that was twice as much as the local car.
People have Mercedes those days.
No, that's what I'm saying. So at the time it was unique. So driving your car, if you think it's not important, it is, right? So Percy always used to say, "I'm not motivated to go buy a new car." Right?
I just bought a small car.
I'm not gonna bite.
People on Facebook remember that story.
Hmm?
People on Facebook remember that.
No, yes, it's a
It's
good
a
story.
red Mercedes.
Yeah, red Mercedes, yeah. And then this one here goes on, this guy here, young kid there, he got himself $60,000 check, young kid. Gave money to his parents. He took $20,000 and bought himself another car, bought 15,000, bought himself a Mercedes, and he did that because the number one agent on the block drove a Cadillac, so he wanted to drive a Mercedes. It's fun, man. Tridell's going to build some places with 5 towers in Scarborough with conjunction with community living in Toronto. They're going to build 5 towers, 28 to 52 stories, approximately 2,200 residential units, of which 280 will be rental units for probably low income to boot. And it's going to be at 1710 and 1712 Ellesmere. I believe this is Ellesmere and McCowan. I think on the north side, there's a building there called Lawson something.
Yeah, McCowan.
Right, so McCowan, so it's gonna be that area there. So that's coming down the tube. So that's in the future, and that's Tridell doing that.
That's the government's restriction that you have to build rental days.
There, that's where everybody's doing now, right? This person here on the Toronto Sun is saying that they don't understand it because they're not seeing the power of sales, neither am I. Everybody's telling you about doom and gloom, how the interest rates have gone up and how the market's so bad. Has anybody seen any power of sales yet?
Yeah, no, there's not.
One or two, very few. Very few. So it goes back to what I was saying last week. I don't know too many people, unless they're really stuck in a bind by divorce or job loss or transfer. Can't see a lot of people selling their houses for a loss.
It's only the guys like 1-2 years ago, private mortgage.
Private mortgage guys,
Yeah, sure.
another story, right? Private mortgage guys, I mean, that's, you got these guys that have lent money as a second mortgage, and they've only lent it for 1 year, 2 years. Now they want their money back, and now the poor buyer can't refinance and can't do anything. He's stuck. And a lot of these private lenders, they're called what I call predatory lenders. Predatory lenders meaning that they want you to default on your payments. They don't want you to make your payments. They want you to default so they can take the property from underneath you. That's the business strategy.
Really?
So you gotta be very careful. Wells Fargo was like that in the States. They came up here to Canada. Then they actually went back to the States because their strategies weren't working. And in fact, I think even Biden was giving them a hard time, saying that their strategy was just not a very good, not very friendly.
A lot of people went for the private mortgage because the prices are going up.
Yep.
And they got caught in there.
You got
Let's
caught.
back to Tridell. When they have a rental units in the same building, do they have a separate door?
they do that one downtown, that one
Yeah, I know
York,
they did one at job.
one York they do.
Separate entrance, right? Their entrance from the back or something.
Yeah. Now, the problem there too is in New York City, they did that and they got bad press.
Yeah.
Because now you're separating classes of people, like you guys go in the back door, we go in the front door. So it's got a lot of bad media, although it sounds good for,
If it's the same door, then it becomes bad building.
yeah, but still you're somehow you're discriminating somehow by having people go in the back rather than the front. So-
When you don't do the rental guys a balcony.
You know, the rental building for this building, the whole floor is like a rental. So their elevator only goes to the back floor. And they don't have access to the back floor.
Yeah, that's it's once the NDP guys down in the Toronto City Hall get a hold of that, they're gonna burn it. All right, let's talk about good stuff. No, confusing stuff.
It's open to the back.
No, it's all bad stuff today. Where's the good? No, the good stuff was that the market's up. Good news. Bad news, good news. Bad news that the American banks went belly up last week, right? Remember that? There's two of them. And the bad news is that the stock market took a dip. Good news is the stock market went back up. And the good news is because of the failure of the American banks, the bond rates went down. Because the bond rates went down, your 5-year rates went down by a quarter point. So it's cheaper today to get a 5-year mortgage than it is last week. That's good news. Right?
100%.
Quarter point, and the Americans, they said they were going to increase their rates last week by a half a point. They ended up doing over a quarter point. So that helped out as well. So those are good things, right? Okay, now back to okay, no. Last Wednesday, we talked about AI. Artificial intelligence. Did anybody watch that show? Katelyn put it on. It was pretty slick. Eh? If anybody didn't watch it, it was actually pretty slick. So the AI is open, what's it called? Open chat,
OpenAI.
OpenAI, G4, whatever, chat, whatever it is. There's more than one out there, but this is the one that's getting all the press. So last week, Katelyn said, okay, write me an ad for this property. And then the computer wrote the ad for the property. And then she said to it, make it millennium. So it rewrote the ad in a millennium talk. And then she said, make it 400 characters. So it went from this down to that. So it's much more powerful than what I imagine. I imagine you just typed in like, brief description of the condo and then the thing writes the ad for you. But now it can even customize it to your seniors or to millennials or wherever you want to be. So it's pretty slick. And then on the weekend, I read this here somehow, and it talks about other reasons, other purposes for AI. So you guys, the first reaction was your high school or university kids are using AI to write their term exams or something, right? That was the first thing. Everybody's thinking, what's going on there, right? So they're cheating. I think most people cheat anyways, didn't they? Did most people not go to Google? Did you not Google something?
Everybody Googles now.
Didn't you Google something and then copy and paste it and then put your words on it? Isn't that what people did anyways? So anyway, so the next AI app is dating sites. And now what they're saying here is that you put in who you are, what you are, your education, your earnings, what you like, what you don't like, and then the computer AI connects you with somebody else who did the same thing. And it's called AI dating. And they say it's more accurate because you actually put in like there's quite a lot of description, like how tall you are, what do you weigh, what do you make, when you have brothers, sisters, where you came from, like who you are, and then connects you with somebody else.
Please,
So-
you get what you put in.
Right? Okay, so let's go to trust. Okay, so so I've been fighting with Rico now for the last week about you guys remember what I was fighting about? Rico about what? The trust and round. I want to see if anybody's listening.
April 1st.
Fire representatives. Okay, so
Footage from Empire.
you have to be very, okay. So there's lots of stuff coming down on the tax-free thing. You all got an email last week saying that they've delayed it, right?
Yeah.
And you would have got an email from Rico with a video, and you would have got an email from Oria, and you would have got an email from Treb saying that it's been delayed. But what they're delaying, what Rico wants to do is right now we can do multiple representation. Forget about all this stuff for now. Forget about buyers, reps and whatnot. We're still allowed to do multiple representation. Rico says they don't want to do that. Rico, I don't know why, but Rico says they prefer to see a model similar to BC. In BC, it's against the BC rules to have multiple representation. You're not allowed to double end a deal in BC. I'll be quiet and get your attention. And this is what Rico wants. But what you can do instead, like right now, when somebody signs an agreement, they sign it with the brokerage, and they're saying when it comes to offers, they want us to allow in Ontario, like they do in BC, to have the agreement with the agent, not with the brokerage. Therefore, it's no longer multiple representation.
What about the team?
Same thing as a team individuals, right?
So then it's not much fun anymore.
So, but what it would be designated representative. So what they're saying here is they want the buyer to have full representation, just like the seller. Why would the seller, why would you have multiple representation when you say, well, I can't tell you everything, I can't do everything, I'm dealing with both sides. They're saying like it's impossible to have two masters. So what they're saying here is that in BC, no longer allowed to have multiple representation, but you can have separate agents that would represent each of their parties. Same office, which makes total sense.
Yeah.
If you're your own agent, you've got your own buyer, you're gonna have to designate somebody to represent the buyer for you. You won't be able to double end it.
From the same office.
The same office or anywhere, it doesn't matter, anywhere, it doesn't matter. You have to get another agent to represent that buyer because you represent the seller.
If I'm buying it myself.
Same thing. You have to hire somebody to represent you and somebody to represent yourself. So that's what the government has said. Okay, let's wait for the April 1st. Let's think about this option because they are doing it in BC and maybe we'll consider it too. But they never address self-represented people. They never address multiple offers. It's the only reason why they delayed it is because at this point, multiple offers, not the other stuff.
So if you want commission is 5%. He said, well, to ask you for a break. He said, sure, I'd gladly give you a break. I bring my own offer in. Instead of taking 5, I'll take 3.5, or I'll take whatever. That's all. That's not.
Yeah, you won't have your own offer.
That's good, actually.
I know. I mean, it's not bad, right? And the guys in BC I'm talking to, they said it was kind of rough at the beginning, but now they're used to it.
And why get to know?
It's only a small percentage of people that were so long distance.
Yeah, it's very small, but I like the idea is that, hey, I like to cut commission to my own buyer, but the government won't let me do that. So that's why I have to designate somebody else and we got to pay them. Right? Again, until we get the details, we don't know, but that's likely what will happen. I can see this happen because they are doing it in BC and I think they're doing it in Alberta too. Everybody okay with that?
What percent, you ever figure out what percentage of listings that in the office here were?
I look at our reports every month, 2, 3.
For 3%.
Yeah, about that. 2%.
That's within the office deals.
Yeah.
Gotta be more than that. Because we do more than,
It's less than 5% anyway.
No.
yeah, but 5%.
Yeah. I only see like 2 or 3, so not a whole lot. The other thing they're going to be doing, and again, it's come down. This one's going to be fun for Nelson, I think. We are going to be able to, and again, I haven't read the whole thing. It was supposed to be effective April 1st, but I guess it's been delayed as well. But they really haven't talked about it. But this is part of phase 2, and they have delayed phase 2. Phase 2 is the multiple offers and telling everybody what the contents of the multiple offers are. And according to Korea last week, they're moving forward with their software. So they've been experimenting since the spring in BC and some other place on seeing how it works. And what it is, it's the Australian company that's bringing their software to Canada to do auctions. So everybody knows in Australia we have auctions.
They have option.
So the software that's doing it in Australia is the same software they're bringing here. And the way that's gonna be worked, it's gonna be done through realtor.ca. I'm just gonna paraphrase how what it's gonna look like when it happens. And again, it's surprised to me because if the government hadn't changed the date from April 1st, all the stuff is effective April 1st next week. But we don't have any forms. We don't have any-
So is it
forms or anything.
auction, multiple offers?
So what you,
Basically live auction.
so basically it's gonna be a similar live auction, but it's gonna be done through realtor.ca somehow. So when you have an offer, it's gonna go through realtor.ca through this program. And you're gonna have your, I guess, your information there, and somebody's gonna register an offer, they're gonna register it through realtor.ca rather than the front desk.
Everybody will be able to see.
No, no. Your seller can decide what they want to show and what they don't want to show. The seller can decide whether they want to show anything. Right,
But just the
or
price.
they want to show one thing or two things. Maybe they want to show the date for closing, maybe they want to show the price, maybe they want to show the deposit, maybe they want to show something.
Buyers.
And then once the seller decides what they're going to disclose, then the other agents, as they register their offers, they'll be able to see what the other offers are, not the names of people or brokers, but they'll be able to see what the contents of the other offers are, the contents that the seller has allowed that to be shown. And then they can make their bids on this platform.
At what point do you do that? Can you change it?
And you can change your mind halfway through. So if you're halfway into the game and your seller says, this is too crazy, I don't want to do this anymore, then you can stop it and you're back to normal.
So no more disclosure.
No more disclosure,
When you send a second round.
right? Second round, no disclosures. So it's gonna be, as I said, Nelson and I are gonna have lots of fun.
They should have one option.
Lots of fun.
And I'll tell you what the answer for me is. The answer for me is do not, if you're representing the seller, don't do this. Like, why would you want to do this for your seller? I mean, today's market,
Don't disclose.
I wouldn't.
Just disclose the price. And all the other offers are conditional. One is for,
Well, no, I heard one where they were saying that the day after, they would potentially release the information saying that then you can see where you stacked up.
Even that, would make another option, right? Yeah, I'm gonna disclose the contents of all the offers, but after I've made my choice.
Yeah.
That's a weird one too.
that should be, they should be allowed to do that.
That's great, no.
Well, so where does protect the public come in all this? They think they're doing it. to protect them.
This whole thing came up from the buyer side. The buyer's agents were complaining. Buyer's agents saying, what's going on? We don't know what we're competing. And I remember this years ago when Brad Kansas, these guys around, like they come up here and the new agents, they say it's multiple offers. My buyer wants to know what the other offers are. We can't tell him. I said, well, why not? I said, well, we're not allowed. I said, but how's my buyer supposed to bid if he doesn't know what he's bidding against? He says, yeah, good question. Just guess. Right? I mean, like, it's silly, right? When you think about it. On the buyer side, so that's where it came from. But if I'm on the seller side, I don't care what the buyer thinks. I want them, so you have to look at both sides. They did get back to me.
That's a beneficial to the seller because the other offers are conditional, they show the price. And the guy who's a little bit lower, it's gonna be the offers are firm. And the price.
Right. I'm sure there's gonna be advantages on individual things where you want everybody to know what the prices are. I'm sure that's gonna come too. I got an email back from Rico regarding the way the act says that we're not allowed to show unrepresented people properties. It was a crazy thing.
Is it confirmed?
No, I mean, it's not confirmed. I mean, it says very clearly there that you're not allowed to give service to an unrepresented person by showing a property means service, therefore you're prohibited from giving service to an unrepresented person. I wrote back and said, this is nuts. This is what happens is that the clients will meet the potential, our agents will meet potential clients at the property or someplace. And then decide, maybe even show the property, and then while you're showing the property, talk about, are you committed to somebody, you're gonna sign somebody else? Maybe the second showing you don't show without an agreement, but usually the first thing, you don't want to commit to some guy, maybe you don't like him. So why would you want to sign that guy to agreement? Then you can work around it, I guess. You can say, well, I can show you this property, but you gotta sign this piece of paper for this one property. I just imagine the phone conversation. Somebody's gonna phone Peter up. Peter, like your property, no, not your property, Pete's advertising a property that's not his listing. On his webpage. Says, Peter wants to see this property, it's not his listing, right? Pete says, yeah, I'd like to show that property here, but before I show it to you, you have to sign a piece of paper because you're not represented and I can't show it to you without being represented. What am I gonna do as a buyer? I'm gone, right?
Why will learn very quickly.
If everybody else says the same thing.
That's right.
But I'll guarantee you, 67,000, I think, was it 10% of the people, 6,000 people know what the rules are. The rest don't.
Not 6,000.
5,000.
300.
So these are the things we have to come up with. And again, it's no big deal. I don't care. We don't care. I mean, it's not really affecting our business. It's just a matter of different piece of paper. Like we're supposed to have Rico's going to give us an information guide that we have to give to these same clients. This is how I'm going to tell us to do it, regardless of what Rico tells me. When somebody phones you up and you want to deal with it, you're going to give them information for it's called an information guide that Rico's going to create. And then you're going to create what's called a relationship disclosure form. It's another form that Rico's created. They're going to sign both those forms and you're going to show them the property. And then after that, you decide whether you want to work with him or don't work with them. Then he either signs a BRA or he doesn't.
How many people are Rico gonna get to police all this stuff?
Oh, this is a good thing. Did you hear 40 announced that he created 10,000 new jobs last month? For Rico.
Yeah.
It's all made work, isn't it? It's just so crazy. It's all crazy.
It's gonna be pretty hard.
In BC, the only way that you can double end a deal is that the broker record has to make a note. And the only way that you can do a double end is if the property is in such a remote area or such a secluded area, there's no other realtors around.
Oh, boy.
And you have to sign a piece of paper saying this is in Timbuktu or wherever it is there. And I can't, that's it. So that's fine. Going back to the Rico stuff, Rico's answer to me was the law doesn't compel someone to have a signed agreement before providing a service. My question to Rico was this. They go on and says that it could be risky for you. This is a previous email. It says risky how? Risky how, like we may not get paid, or risky we're going to get fined from Rico? Because I really don't care what the paid part. We'll figure that part out. I want to know Rico stuff. That was my direct question. And the question came back saying the law doesn't compel someone to have a signed agreement before providing a service. That's same thing. Why isn't someone giving me an answer? Right. And they go on to say, by not having an agreement, it creates a risk that can reduce getting paid or litigation or E&O insurance, all these types of things that say they may not cover, but we'll deal with that stuff there. I was more curious about Rico. Is Rico going to fine us for showing a property to somebody that hasn't signed an agreement? I say no.
Yeah, because we would have to report it.
Because you'd have to have 10,000 people out there to be able to monitor it, and they can't do that.
They've delayed it, right?
Been delayed. The whole thing's been delayed.
Going back to your last point, I can see a whole lot of human rights violation right there.
I'm not allowed to show you the property unless you sign a BRA.
But other human rights, the seller might say, I need a Chinese agent. Or I need this agent, or I need that agent. You tell me that. I'm looking right around here, Like human rights violation right there.
Human rights. I guess you gotta be careful of what you're saying, right?
So that doesn't seem like consumers might feel distrust between, oh, this guy's just trying to get me out of contract, trying to lock me up. If they complain loud enough, maybe go through it way again.
I mean, one thing is for sure, you won't be able to put an offer in without a BRA. Right now you can get away with a customer agreement. You won't be able to do that in the future. You got a BRA, and that's when self-representation really comes in. Because let's say you show the guy the property, right? And the guy says, yeah, I want to put an offer in, but I don't want to be represented. Right? Then you say, great, you can put an offer in. And then just stare at each other. He says, what? I'm waiting for your offer. Or aren't you gonna help me type it? No, I'm not allowed to give you service. So I'm waiting for your offer. Give it to me.
Well, I think you need to show them something to say this is what the law requires. So right now, sometimes others want to sell 30 days listing. So I get them, please, okay, but this is real estate board required minimum 60 days. I'm sure you'll have something that says.
Yeah, there's gonna be something in there saying we're not allowed to give you service without having to sign. You're
Exactly.
prohibited.
So
We're
there's
we're
something-
prohibited from giving you service, but you still have to have the conversation, which is interesting. Okay, good. Very good. So don't worry about everything, and whatever happens, we've got it covered. Nothing's changed as of today. Nothing's changed of today.
Yeah, we had 110 showing in 4 days. No, that's 700.
What's the list price?
700, freehold townhouse, not the greatest size.
So town agent this morning, the same thing. So those townhouses in the peak would have gone, I don't know, over $1 million. And
This would
now,
have been 850.
yeah, so now they're going for 850 or so today, right? So.
So this would have gone 850 peak time because the back slope is like a
Oh, okay.
straight up.
So the one,
Drop in the.
so the one in Pickering? That's Royal, right? Is that the Coghlan?
No, this is old house, 40-year-old. Garage.
Anybody have any properties you want to talk about? Any buyers you want to talk about?
It's on the 3+1 separate entrance in the basement.
Nice deck with everything, so it's good furnace, plenty of cushion.
All of it.
Aids and air conditioning in summertime, I don't know how it works.
It's a heat pump, right? So it's a 3-bedroom townhouse whereabouts? Semi, sorry. Downtown Whitby? For what price? $599 for a semi? That's good. Okay.
That's cheap.
So what's your target?
7 somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the right way to do it. So that's how we're doing this. Anybody else?
On the 2-bedroom condo, it's Katelyn and Belami. If I is 499. The lake view.
What's the actual address?
3311 Kingston Road.
Kingston Road, 3311. Kingston Bell.
It's on the first year.
Yeah, good. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Okay, folks. All right. So again, don't be all freaked out about all these new changes here. We'll talk about more and we'll make it simple when we get it. We'll have all these different forms and that. So it is coming down, but anyways, don't worry about it. All right, you good?
I'm gonna put the ring.